Hello and welcome. Today I would like to talk with you about the repair process. Especially I would like to show you some very important tips and tricks that help you to save some time, to get out the maximum of the repair, and that might also ease your process, make the process easier, and very helpful tricks. So let's talk about Primer RC. Primer RC is a chemical bonding agent. It increases the stability of the repair for more than 10 times. It connects the ceramic resin with the body of the ceramic object, and it prevents the repair from falling out again. To show you the difference between a repair done with primer and without primer, I will prepare two defects and repair one with primer, one without primer, and then I show you what happens, how easy the one without primer can be removed. So let me prepare two defects. Clean the defect from the dust. Then this spot with primer, one drop, and the other one without primer. Let it dry a little bit. I already fill the spot without primer with the repair material. Now make sure that the spot with primer has dried, so that I can also fill in the material here. And I cover both repairs with a film. Then curing. Now grinding. And finally, I polish both areas. clean it from the polishing wax. And now I demonstrate to you the difference between the repair done with primer and without primer. So this is the repair where we used the primer. This is the one where we don't use the primer. And I try to peel off the repair with this spatula, and you will see I start with the one without primer. You see it can be removed very easily because there's no chemical connection. And now I try the same with the spot with primer, and you can see that is very hard. I have to use a lot of pressure, and it's very hard to remove the material. With much force, of course, you can also scratch it out, but for the one without primer, you see it's very easy to come off. And this is the difference between using primer and don't use primer. So every other comment that you hear that primer is not necessary is just wrong. Another very important step of the repair process is the covering of the repair material before polymerization. For this we have a transparent film that you can use, or you can also use kind of a gel, the insulating gel. The reason behind is to exclude the oxygen during the polymerization process, because the oxygen molecules, they connect with the top layer of the repair material, and when you polymerize it, it stays soft. It cannot be polished. It changes the color afterwards, and so you have a not very good repair result at the end. So in order to avoid this, you always have to cover the surface with either of those both materials to make the repair very strong, very hard, to make the material polishable, and with this you reach very high gloss. You make it also resistant against acids, detergents, different chemicals. So this is a very important tip that you always have to follow. Let's talk about the Kerasys Power LED. The Kerasys Power LED is a very powerful, as the name already mentions, very powerful light curing device. And in order to use all this light output power for the curing process, I will show you some very important tips. One thing is to always keep the window of the light guide clean. If dust or dirt is on this area, only reduced part of the light power reaches the repair material, and so the curing properties are not that good anymore. So always check if it's dirty, and if yes, then just clean it with alcohol, like this, and this you make sure that all the light comes out of this light guide. Another important step is when you cure the material, make sure that the light guide reaches or is close as possible to the repair spot. So you can also touch the repair because you covered it with a film already. You have to know that every centimeter that you are far away from the repair area, the light intensity reduces exponential. So to make sure that all the power reaches the repair as close as possible to the repair spot. And another helpful thing is if you would like to operate the Kerasys power in a continuous mode, you have to do a lot of repairs after each other, and you don't want to recharge the battery all the time. We offer a kind of a adapter that you can use instead of the battery, so you can change this this adapter, and you just connect the cable, here you can see, to the adapter, and you can use the light guide or the Kerasys in a continuous way without recharging. So here I would like to show you a helpful tip for the drilling process that we do with the Kerasys drill. The Kerasys drill is a very helpful tool to prepare the defect for the filling process. It means you can remove stain and dust particles, black spots for example, and you can open the hole and make it more rough for a better connection. So when you use this drill, as you can see, the drill has some like teeth on the outside and not on the top. To use all these teeth, it's the best way to hold the rotating tool, the Dremel, in a diagonal angle. So not like this. You have to hold it like this, and also important that you fix the Dremel with both hands, because it's easy to slip out. So I can show it to you. If you don't fix it, you easily scratch the surface, and if you hold it with both hands very tight, you can drill a hole very easily. So let's come to the grinding and polishing step. Here is a helpful tip for this step. Well, at the end of the repair process, you have to grind and polish the repair to give it to level it down with grinding and to give the repair material a shining, glossing surface. So you use the grinding paper for the grinding step, and finally the polishing wheel for the polishing step. And if, for example, the overlap of the repair material is not so big, you can skip the grinding process. You can just use the polishing wheel to level the repair down and to polish it, because with grinding you always have some small risks. You can bring into the repair spot some grinding dusts, and you can also scratch the surface of the surrounding glaze a little. So yeah, if you do not have a very big excess to remove, you can only use the polishing wheel for that. The only disadvantage if you only polish it is that it takes a little bit longer time. So finally, for today, I would like to show you a very helpful tip that you can use when you have multiple damages on one object to save you some time. It means if you have, for example, 2, 3, 4 repairs to be done in one object, you can do all the steps simultaneously. It means not every defect completely, but all the different repair steps one by one. That means you drill out all defects first, only drilling, then you clean the defects, then you use the primer for all defects, let it dry a little, Then you fill in the repair material in all spots. Then you use the film for covering all spots, and then you cure each spot one by one, 10 seconds. And after that, grinding, polishing. So at the end you save time because you do all these steps simultaneously and not starting all over again for each defect. So this is very helpful tip that can save you some time. So now we are at the end. I would like to thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you have learned something today, that those tips and tricks help you to save some time, to optimize your repair result. And yeah, one more thing that I would like to mention is that next week we will be at the Tecnagila exhibition in Rimini in Italy. So if you would like to visit us there, talk with us directly on the booth. We are located in Hall D5 and the booth number is 037, so 37, booth number 37. Yeah, just come by, visit us. We will be very glad to meet you there and talk with you about our product and about your company. So thank you again, and yeah, see you soon. Bye.